Profits Unlimited coming to you live from Louisville, Kentucky. Yes, indeed. Oh my goodness, we got a great day going on here. Weather is awesome. It is Friday, June 19th. Can y'all believe it? Here we are at the end of another week already. And weather's great. Production's been great this week. All's looking good. And got a special guest going to hop on here with us in a little bit. Brett with BAM Weather's going to talk to us a little bit about the weather. So we won't get into all that. But man, this nice weather made me think about going down, hitting the lake, and but we're obviously we're not doing that at this point in time. But yeah, man, Kyle was just telling me a minute ago. He's like, I'll probably be leaving during your show and heading that way. So he's heading down to the lake to do his thing. So looking forward to that. Yes, Mike Murphy, good morning to you, my friend. Appreciate you listening. It's you get to thinking about the lake and all. I was reading an article about that. It was pretty not about going to the lake, but how RV sales are in their worst slump since the recession of 2008. And because it's funny, I was kind of talking the other day about maybe getting rid of my RV, and then when my campground that I really like to go to opens back up, buy something and start doing it again. But I just don't want to have it sitting there depreciating. Thinking about it as a business, right? I mean, that's the reality of it. I got a asset that's sitting there depreciating and not getting any value out of. Got to figure out, hey, what we going to do? So yeah, Mike says he's missing that camping too, and I really am. And so I've considered that to the extent of even drawing up an ad for my RV. And I'm like, damn, man, as I'm putting this together and I'm looking at it, I'm like, I would like to have this, and it's like, then my other side of my mind is tapping me on the shoulder and saying, okay, well then why don't you just hang on to it, So I don't know. It doesn't sound like it's going to be the best time to try to get rid of one. So I'm going to use that as my excuse. And I'm not making this up for you guys that, are watching this here. Here's the article I was looking at and about it. But the reality of it is, when COVID came along, a lot of people start getting some type of campers and travel trailers and RVs and whatever. And I can believe that the market just got saturated, if you will, and it had that big push up because I know a couple guys that were in that business, and during then, and it's progressively slowed down just a little bit, but not bad. It's like everything. It's cyclical, right? It's going to go up, down, up, down, up, down, just like our businesses do. But I just thought I'd bring that up and we'd talk about it a little bit and see what you guys are seeing within your own markets with your own business, maybe is up, down, or indifferent. Maybe we'll talk a little bit about that. But it was kind of sad to see. I don't know. Maybe it hurt us talking about it here in the office about putting an ad together to sell the RV. Then you start getting sponsored ads on everything. And there it was, So, oh Lord. So I don't know. I've almost convinced myself to keep it, or I have convinced myself to keep it today. Now tomorrow I might feel differently about it, but I don't know. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. But man, sure am missing it. And here we are. Almost 2/3 of the way through June. Tomorrow, tomorrow is our longest daylight day of the year, y'all. I think I was seeing something where it's like over 14 hours. I didn't look it up, but we have to ask Brett about that. I'm gonna make a note when he hops on here with us. Brett, he'll know, man. If he doesn't know, who knows, right? But I think it was something like 14 hours of daylight. So we'll see. We'll pop that. We'll pop that on him. Good morning, Seth. Appreciate you hopping in with us, my friend. Oh my goodness. I hear you, buddy. Seth, I hear you. That's exactly what Tabitha and I were talking about. Just roll out this fall and do some things. We're actually thinking about going up to the horse park maybe in Lexington. So might be a decent little place to go. I know when we were doing our time study on GPS mowing for Cub Cadet a few years ago, one of the places we went was Lexington, the horse park up there in Lexington, and with contractors, and did some of that research there, and that was a really nice place, you know. So absolutely, Mike, you're welcome to. It can be an Airbnb, right? And we'll do an Airbnb with it for you next time you come to Louisville to play hockey. Daniel Mike said he's going next time he plays hockey, he'll be rolling in, and we can Airbnb it for him. So that's right, buddy. We'll have it all hockey themed in there for you, man. So and hey, we'll park it right here next to the shop, so you'll be close to where you're going to be playing hockey, and you'll be ready to roll, buddy. So sounds like a plan. See, we work these things out and we get them all going, and then it's like our plans within our own businesses, right? It's like you get these great plans going, and it all sounds really good, and it gets underway, and sometimes hey, they work out really good, and it's all good. But um, speaking of good, what are you guys into today? We're just doing landscaping today at WLS. We got about 50% crew in today, uh, give or take a little bit. Didn't count the exact numbers, but I think that's about right. And we got about 50% that took the day off. So curious if you guys are working hard today or hardly working. You guys doing the Juneteenth thing, or there's a lot of different holidays during the year. Some are off days, some aren't. And, just curious what you guys might be doing. So we had a really good week this week, so we were able to ask some people, hey, who somebody want to take Friday off, and we had about half of them say, yeah, that sounds cool, and the other ones said, no, no, no. So here we go. Here's our buddy Brett. Let's see. All right, let me see what we got here. Brett, can you hear me okay, buddy?
I can hear you.
Yay, a good deal, man. How's it been, man? I hadn't talked to you for like 112 Sundays or something.
Well, it has been busy. It has been active from a weather standpoint, from a severe weather standpoint. So that has been keeping us quite occupied.
Oh, I can only imagine, man. And hey, I appreciate all the updates y'all have done for us here at WLS and for me, man. That was I really do appreciate that, and I appreciate your text the other morning too, in the morning. So
Yeah, absolutely. You know, when those types of events are going on and there's tornado warnings flying around, we try to look around and make sure that everybody in the path is well aware of what's coming.
yeah, and it's crazy. When you sent me that notification, you said it's going to be a little bit south of you. The funny part about that, I even laughed when I read it. I live a little south of our shop and office area, right?
Okay.
So I'm like, damn, man, that's right on top of us. But we were very lucky. It did not,
Yeah.
it was one of those radar indicated things or whatever. So, I mean, it seems tell me, is it a little weird this late in the year to be having this kind of severe weather though?
I
Or
would say so. By this time of the year, we're typically getting more into like the storm clusters where you get big wind events if there is severe weather. This was a record strong low pressure system for this time of the year,
oh,
and you
was it?
don't normally, yeah, you don't normally get such strong low pressure systems this time of the year. It's more common in spring and winter. So very, very unusual, I would say, to be getting such widespread tornadic activity with supercells at this point in the year around here. It's typically more out in the plains.
I gotcha. And it's I got your notice this morning that you guys put out as well about the potential severe weather on Sunday. Is it
Yeah.
going to be like a repeat of, and how broad of an area for our listeners is that going to cover, and which direction's it moving?
Yeah, I don't think it's a complete repeat of Wednesday. It's not quite as strong of a system, but there's certainly, if anything, there is a little bit more instability that'll be able to build in on Sunday. So I definitely think that there is a concern about additional tornadic activity in some areas on Sunday. I would say for your listeners, the highest chance of that will be kind of like out towards Evansville and St. Louis in southern Illinois and southwestern Indiana. But I do think that as it approaches Louisville and Indianapolis, there can still be a couple of strong to severe storms with it. But I do think the highest tornado threat is just west as things stand right now.
I got you.
Regardless, we need to keep our guard up as we get into late Sunday evening.
Okay. So for Father's Day itself in this region, daytime should be okay, you think? Is that?
Yeah, I think there's dry time during the day. There may be a wave one that we need to keep an eye on from at least a rain and storm perspective, late morning, early afternoon. But to me, the big wave comes in as we work into the late evening hours and the early overnight hours.
All right. Well, cool. I appreciate you letting us know. And now, is that moving southeast, northeast? Which way is it going to our friends in Ohio and Pennsylvania? And
Yes, it is moving west to east generally. So it'll be coming out from Iowa and Missouri and then working across the Ohio Valley. It will push eastward into Ohio and into the Northeast overnight Sunday into Monday morning. By then, from a severe storm perspective, it should be weaker, but certainly some rain will be possible. And then potentially may need to keep an eye on the East Coast as we head into next Monday for some kind of a strong to severe storm potential.
All right, good deal. I know our guys up listening to us up over there will certainly appreciate that. From North and South Carolina up that coast, we got several listeners. So, and if you guys are needing help with weather, and reach out to these guys, man. I'm telling you, they will keep you in line. I mean, in a very positive way, not like your parents used to keep you in line. They're not taking you to the woodshed, but they keep you in line otherwise, weatherwise. It's awesome what you guys do, Brett. I sincerely mean that. Hey, we got tomorrow is like the summer solstice or salt. What do they call it? The summer.
The summer solstice.
Yes. How many hours of daylight does that amount to? We were talking about it here, and I said, we don't have to look it up. I'll just ask Brett, isn't it like 14 hours and something of daylight tomorrow?
Yeah, according to what I see here, 14 hours and 52 minutes of total daylight.
Dang. All right. And then from that point on, we start losing a minute or two a day till we hit December 20th?
Yeah, we start slowly losing it, and then I guess it's all downhill from then. We'll be back into winter before we know it.
I hear you, man. We're actually going to talk a little bit about that after you hop off today on our show. Is ice melter issues already?
Okay.
Can you believe that?
It's never too early to start preparing.
Yeah. I mean, it's just already they're talking shortages, and I've tried to let my listeners know about it about a month or so ago when our suppliers reached out to us, and we're talking about it. And it's hard to believe that that industry, and I'm not going to hold you up talking about that, but it's just crazy that that it's regulated, they control it so much. They meaning there's a handful of suppliers. So when they decide they want to regulate and do what they do to do their things, it happens pretty easily. But
yeah, sure.
Hey, also I was looking, on the post this morning that y'all put out. It said this stormy period maybe lasts through June. I mean,
I think, yeah, I think so. I do. I think what will happen is, the next 7 days we get more of these little low pressure systems. And then as we work into the end of June and the start of July, we get a little bit more of the traditional summer pattern where we get some storm cluster risk. But in general, the pattern will remain active ahead. I just don't see a big calm down of this wet pattern that we've been in. I know there's probably a couple areas here and there that have been skipped out. That's the summertime messy type of a pattern. But man, across Illinois and much of Indiana, they really need a break because they have been dealing with just too much rain.
I got you. And we went from hey, it's dry and farmers need rain to slow it up a little bit. What's July and August looking like?
I really think that July overall, from like a heat perspective, isn't anything all that notable.
All right.
I think it's a rather seasonable to even slightly cooler than normal July. I think big sustained heat waves are less likely this year. And I think the pattern stays active. I think that we continue to deal with this storm pattern that we just deal with waves of rain and storms and severe weather opportunities. I think it stays pretty busy.
Well, I guess that's good for mowing contractors, for, I mean, so, hey, we all need a little free water, right? But we're
Sure,
kind of hoping, and I don't know, I'm not going to put my order in quite yet to you guys at BAM, but, we're going to need at some point to dry out a little bit so we can sell aeration and overseeding, okay? I mean,
sure.
we get you get your fair share. It's like anything, right? But if we get some Mother Nature help with some dry times and lawns are looking rough and people just, it's that impulse thing. It's like, oh my God, my yard looks terrible. What do I need to do?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm not
Well,
wishing bad luck on anybody, but it,
well, they need it, right? They need it anyway. They just
yeah,
don't know they need
they
it.
just it's it. And realistically, that is it, Brett. From a science standpoint, and I know you're a scientist, I guess technically,
Yeah,
right? I mean, from a
yeah, of course.
science standpoint, blades of grass have a life cycle, and
Yeah,
a lot of people don't understand that, and I think Katie's done a little research on this. I think it was like 7 years or something. 7 to 10 years is a life cycle for a plant, a grass plant.
yeah.
So and but people don't think about putting grass plants slash seeding their yard, say every other year. Just something to
Mhm.
add to that population. So,
Sure.
but it's always good to get some Mother Nature water. And I don't know if I've ever asked you this before about water. Hose water
Sure.
versus like water falling from the sky. It There's got to be a scientific reason behind why rainwater is better than irrigation. What?
I think it probably has to do with the consistency and just the coverage. It's just easier to get more consistent coverage when you get rain. It's steady and consistent across the entire area. Where I know, obviously, I don't have a full blown irrigation system, but a good rain always does better than the sprinkler for me, just
Yeah,
in terms of keeping everything uniform,
yeah,
right?
right.
And I think soaking in, you've got to consider gravity too, soaking into the soil a little bit better when you're falling from the sky and you have a little bit of that momentum compared to a sprinkler.
Yeah. All right. Well, I didn't mean to throw that on you,
No, you're good.
but next, I'll try to remember to ask you like weird things like that before you hop on with me. Say, hey, man, can you answer this for us? We were just talking about this, but
Sure.
uh, how much rain do you guys anticipate Sunday? Is this like, because I mean, it overachieved a lot here,
It
a
did.
lot of flash
It did.
flood warnings and all. I mean, we looking at similar 2 to 3 inches, or what do you think at this point?
I think that there's a risk for that. I suspect that the heaviest is just north of you, Wayne. I think
All
it's
right.
probably closer to where the warm front is. It's a slightly different system than Wednesday. I think it's closer to central Illinois and into northern Indiana, which unfortunately is where it has been the wettest. But I think that there's the potential for another inch of rain, and probably there'll be some spots if you get under a stronger storm that's locally 2 inches plus.
All right.
I think that there's the potential in some parts of central Illinois and into Indiana, central Indiana, that could get another 2, 3 inches of rain
My
in some
goodness.
spots. And so the bottom line is it's another widespread heavy rain coming.
Does this and does this kind of rain in June and July, if it continues on, does this say anything about any type what that means for December or January? Does like the
Um,
or what's the precedent for that?
I wouldn't say necessarily that's the case.
All right.
I think in this particular situation, it does tell us something because we've got the strong El Nino forcing going on, and that's amplifying the jet stream. And that to me would mean that as we head into the winter months, the jet stream is going to be very strong. Now, that typically can set up a little bit further south. But to me, this is a very similar setup to like a 2015. And so I think that you can start to see similarities to years that were similar from an El Nino standpoint and kind of start to roll that forward a little bit, if you will.
All right.
And so it tells me to start looking at some specific years that had similarities and then can kind of roll it forward. But there are wet La Nina years too. There's variability, and so it's more picking the right wet year
Okay.
and rolling that forward rather than just looking at, well, it was wet this year, so it means it'll be this in December. It's a little more complicated than that.
Yeah, I know it's a long way out, and certainly not holding you to any of this. But we were actually, talking a little bit about it because when we were talking about the ice melter side of it, we're like, well, wonder if that means we're going to have more or less moisture, this winter, December through March, or whatnot, or even November potentially. So, all right,
Yeah, I bet early winter is pretty wet. And maybe the back half of winter, your jet stream shifts a little bit more south. But I don't know if it'll be wet from a snow perspective.
all right, fair enough.
Typically, these strong El Nino years are a little bit warmer.
Stop.
I know. Hey, I gave you a lot of snow the last 2 years.
You did. You guys came through in the clutch. So we're gonna put that pressure on you again this year. So, but hey, you can't do it all the time, right?
Yep. Nope.
Santa's only going to bring you a few toys you like.
I have a quick question on that. When you said these years that are warmer in the winter, like what's the cutoff line for that though? Is it like at what point does that potentially turn into more snow for someone in somewhere like Minnesota or Michigan or somewhere like that? If that's a thing.
Sure. So it's a combination of the temperatures and the jet stream and where the main storm track is setting up. And so it depends. If it's kind of a warmer southern US winter, then you end up with a lot of snow typically in the northern US. If it's a warmer northern US winter, you typically get a rather lackluster, drier winter in the northern half of the country, and it can lead to big snows on the East Coast at times. For this particular winter, and when we get super El Ninos, you can get big storms. So you can get lucky and get a big storm, but they happen less frequently. And so storms can be laden with moisture and you can get big snows, but they don't typically happen as often throughout the winter months.
Gotcha.
Fair enough. So, hey, what's going on fun and exciting for Father's Day for you?
We are actually heading down to Louisville to go to Churchill Downs for Downs After Dark on Saturday.
Oh my gosh, man.
So that was going to be fun. And then I think I may play golf with my dad on Sunday, weather permitting.
Well, it sounds like you've got a good day planned. Enjoy Churchill Downs, man. They've spent a lot of money in renovations, recently on that. So if you haven't been down for a while, you guys enjoy yourself. And if you get down this way and you need anything, feel free to reach out, Brett. I'd be happy to help you in any way I can. I'm not wishing you any bad luck on cars or anything, but enjoy it. Enjoy your time down here. Enjoy Churchill Downs, man. I hope it works out well.
I
pick a winner.
Yes, that's the goal. The goal. I got the Derby winner. So
did you really?
And the Belmont winner. Yeah,
Dang.
I picked the Golden Tempo. So I I have some good luck lately. So
Good deal. All right. Well, hey, Brett, I appreciate you hopping on with us again. And hey, you guys have a great day. I know you're going to be busy. I guess Sunday. And
yeah,
Matt, give Matt my congratulations on his new appointment with Bam Weather.
will do.
Yeah, absolutely. So you guys are rocking and rolling for a reason, and that's because you guys give out great information to help people run their businesses more effectively, man. I can say that with confidence, man. So
Well, we greatly appreciate your support. We love working with you, and thank you so much for having me on today.
oh yes, sir. We appreciate it, Brett. We'll talk to you next time, buddy. Thanks.
Yep. Have a great weekend, and happy Father's Day to you as well.
Oh, thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
All
yes,
right.
Sir.
That's Brett Waltz with Bam Weather coming to you live here on Profit Time in the Profit Circle. And we certainly appreciate everything they do for us. And if you guys would like to subscribe, they got a lot of different options. But what I will tell you is it's worth every penny, whether you get in on a very low scale or more intense scale with them or anything in between. You will not be disappointed. I guarantee it. And use coupon code when you call them or reach out to them online. They're kind enough to give me a coupon code to pass out, and I get absolutely nothing for this, you all, just so you know. But it's Wayne 20. They just want to know who's listening to them and me, and so it's Wayne 20. It's all caps, WAYNE, and then the number 20. So and that gets you a 20% discount off of what you're doing there with them. So give those guys a call. You will not be disappointed. I know we count on them here. And daggone, I forgot to ask him something, Daniel. I was going to ask him about Monday here. So because we'll see. We'll what good thing about having Bam, we can reach out to him anytime we want, 24/7, and get a live response and live meteorologist. So that's what's going on there. Hey, we're going to take a short break. Heckapus says he's not driving anywhere this weekend. I can imagine he's had Sherry. Katie once said, "Why not, Heckapus?" No, she didn't really. She's over
I
there.
were you, Texas, I get a Tesla. Even if I had to rent it for the next couple of months, just
so you don't have to push the gas pedal.
Yeah, I don't have to drive around. You just tell it to drive you somewhere.
True that. So yeah, Katie's going to have a deck party tonight over at her house. Alyssa's mom and her husband John are coming down to the big city. They're coming down from Cleveland, so yeah, it's going to be a big deal. Going to have a good time, and then I think tomorrow they're having a pool day or something. I don't know. Going to swim in Katie's backyard or something. I don't know. But no, all joking aside, Katie's got a really nice backyard now. Her dog loves it. Beckett loves it. Beckett loves the neighbors. Katie loves having the backyard for Beckett. So it really was a win-win situation there. So yeah, it's all been good. But speaking of driving places, and I want to get your all's opinion on this. Just curious too. Mike said, "No plans, Daniel." Sounds like Wayne's buying Mexican food on Friday night.
There you go.
I could go for some Mexican food. I was about to get serious on our show, but I haven't had Mexican in a long time. I mean, when I say a long time, probably 3-4 weeks.
That's funny.
I mean, we just haven't, And oh my gosh, we got this one place we like that makes homemade guac, and that's the green stuff, right?
Yeah, guacamole.
Yeah, guacamole, and man, it's good. Gosh, did you and Caitlin ever make it over there?
No.
Oh my God, maybe we could do that tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I'm down. I can't.
I mean,
obviously
you
eat
can't
anything,
eat it, but you could smell it.
Yeah,
that's terrible. I'm not going to do that.
Not
to
that
him.
big of a deal.
Really here, sit here and smell this.
I don't care. I mean,
be like Jimmy John's, free smells.
Yeah, I have
plenty
of non-forced self-enforcement on that kind of thing anyway. Throughout
I know.
Year,
Daniel's got more discipline than anybody I know on the planet. So I'm sure a lot of you guys are well disciplined too. But Mike said just have them sizzle up the steak.
There you go.
There you go. Sell the
Make me a
sizzle,
piece of whitefish.
not the steak. Yeah, I bet they do have fish there.
They have. I'm sure they have like fish for fish tacos.
Fish
and stuff,
tacos.
so.
They do have. I tell you what, they got that's really good. One time at this particular place was chicken wings. For goodness sakes,
it's pretty.
Kyle's daughter Caroline got them one time, and I'm like, I'm gonna try one of those, and dang on, it was good. I ain't gonna lie, Daniel. I know you can't do that either, but at this point, I guess. But
pretty interesting.
Yeah, they were pretty daggone good. So, Katie, we went there one time, didn't we, with you and Alyssa? You hadn't been there either? Damn, maybe, we could all get together on Father's Day maybe and go.
There you go.
No, there we go. Kyle doesn't have to cook. Or Kyle's grilling Father's Day for us. If the weather's not going to be too jacked up. If it is, Katie got a good plan. Maybe we just do it another weekend, which would be fine too, really, rather than trying to have a grill out and everybody there. And he's got plenty of house for support us all being inside, but it's more fun when you can go outside and he's grilling and the people, the girls play in the yard. And we always have a volleyball thing.
It's the ambiance.
It's the ambiance of the situation. And, but anyways,
it's like you got Mike Murphy interested.
Yeah, Mike. It's not too far from where I don't know. It's probably within 4 or 5 miles of where you played hockey, Mike. So it's down Shelbyville Road, which is you were just off Shelbyville Road. So, anyways, it's a good place. El Terrazzo or El Terrazzo or
I think it's El Terrazzo.
Yeah,
they're the ones on the Trinity commercial, right?
Yeah.
That's where I heard that.
Gold Rocks.
Yeah.
Bring old chicken stub for a free queso. Now you don't get stubs. So wonder how the people are doing that marketing wise now. Because
I guess you could probably just show your phone if you got the ticket.
Yeah, Wendy's used to do something like that with baseball, Bats baseball. You could go there and get a free small Frosty or something.
Yeah.
Knowing that you're probably going to order some French fries. Not onion rings.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That really went down the side tangent. But anyways, Lordy.
There's some business in there, though.
Yeah.
Business.
There's business there. So speaking of Fun Fact Fridays, we got to come up with a good Fun Fact Friday, Daniel.
I have a fun fact.
Do you?
The average ocean temperature of all the oceans is, I think, 39 degrees Fahrenheit.
That is really hard to believe.
Yeah.
But there's a whole lot more cold water than warm water.
Yeah.
Now that you say that.
It's pretty much stabilizes, I think, somewhere around like
39,000
feet, or might be a little. No, I think 1,000 meters. Some one of the two. But anyway, a couple hundred feet to 1,000 feet. It pretty much all, regardless if you're in the tropics or if you're at, the North Pole or whatever. It's pretty much the same temperature.
That is interesting. I guess it's like being in a cave, where caves are 55 degrees.
Yeah.
They don't get warmer, they don't get colder, they stay. I guess you just at a certain level think that the environment doesn't change, so it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So something that I never understood, and you and I have talked about this. It's like, why when you get in an airplane and you fly, and I swear we'll get to some decent conversation here in a minute, y'all. But it is Friday, right?
I know what you're going to say.
Yes. Why does it get so cold? You don't have to get real far up, because like that time when you jumped out of an airplane,
10,000 feet. Yeah.
10,000 feet. It was. You said it was
degrees, and it was 90 at the surface or whatever.
Yeah, when you all landed, or I guess you land on a.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because they're called landing when you parachute out.
I think so. Yeah, landing.
I guess Hecubus would know if it's called. He was
more so crash landing for him, but yeah,
more so crash landing. It's funny. He said usually LOL. Yeah, but how does the sun beam through all that's cold?
Here's why it is. And
at what level does it trap itself?
It's not trap per se. So there's
the fun fact.
The amount of air in the air, right? The amount of actual gas in the surrounding air is more dense closer to the ground.
All right.
So the heat, so it heats up that air.
So that
and as
density
we come in
heats up.
contact with the gas of the air, we feel the heat.
Okay.
So technically, it's like in space. Technically, there's like it's like a can't remember the exact word for it. Basically, you don't feel how hot it is. But if they were to take their spacesuit off, it would like crisp them because, or like with the radiation and stuff, because there's not like anything for the actual heat molecules or whatever the proper term
slow
is
down.
there to touch and like interact with, so you don't feel it as heating up the environment, even though there's an extreme amount of energy that's being pushed
That's crazy.
to that specific spot.
Okay. What class do you learn that in?
I just kind of looked that up one day.
Okay. All right.
But I would say probably like meteorology, kind of like what would like the overarching class of that be? Science?
Oh,
Yeah, science.
Katie, what do you think?
And then meteorology would be kind of like a chapter.
She failed weather in 8th grade. It's the only class in her life she ever didn't do. It was
like a
a
chapter,
segment
yeah.
of class. Yeah. She said, don't tarnish her record, you all. So, no, Katie is very smart. I was blessed with very smart children, Jane and I. We really were. They get that gene from their mother for sure. But yeah, they are very intelligent. Now, I'm going to pat them on the back with that. But anyways, speaking of being intelligent, sometimes we don't make really intelligent decisions in our workplace, each and every one of us. Sometimes we make what we think is an intelligent decision. And what I want to talk about is not a bad decision that was made on our part. This is more of, I want to know how you all handle it, because everybody's got parking problems on jobs, right? I mean, that's just a reality of it. But the other day we were at this condominium facility that we take care of, and it's probably about, I'm just guessing, 150 to 200 yards long, okay, along a major thoroughfare. So parking on the main road is out of the question. Parking in a parking lot, if for lack of a better, in a rectangle end of that parking lot, when you talk about it, you say, well, mowing is different than when you're trying to do landscaping. Mowing wise, you can park at the end of a parking lot, secure the items on your trailer or whatever, go mow, trim, blow, get back on and leave, and you're out of the way. But in this particular condo association, it's a very narrow one car path that runs the distance of their buildings. And like I said, it's no longer than 200 yards, I'd say. Okay. But it's far enough to where, you don't want to have all your mulch and material at one end or the other and have to make all those trips back and forth. I mean, the efficiency would just be absolutely stupid, bad. And so, we let them know we were coming because they requested that, so they wanted to know we were coming. We did that, but still, when we got there, because what it amounts to is we're blocking their access. And now it's not like they can't get through because they've got parking on each end and in the middle, but then they also have like some individual parking running parallel with the road, if that makes sense. I know I maybe not be painting a very good picture for that, but that's the scenario. You got couple rectangle parking areas at the end, and as you're going down this, we'll call it 200 yard fronts of the building, they have a single line of parking, if you will. Okay, so somebody would have to. Here's how and it's really not an inconvenience, but one lady made it an extreme inconvenience. Okay. We were the worst thing since, whatever's happened to her in her life. But all they would have to do is when they're backed out, instead of going by the arrows that say one way, just go the other way to exit out, you know? Well, this lady had to make a project out of it, and you know how they do, and or maybe you don't. Have you guys ever had this happen? To where you were in an area where parking was not conducive, and how do you handle it? Well, we came up with something today. Daniel did, and I don't know that it's a solution, but it's what would you call it?
I think it's a partial
we care.
catering to people that feel the need.
If you don't mind sharing with what your idea was, and I'm curious if you guys have something like this.
All right, so it's basically just something a sign you put on your truck, trailer, whatever, and it's something you can move around. And I think that's kind of part of the solution a little bit. Is like wherever the person is going to come into contact with your vehicle or trailer first, so they see it first. That's where you put it. And it's just basically it says, we're sorry for the inconvenience. If you need us to move, please approach someone in a WLS, logoed shirt, and we'll be happy to move as soon as possible, or something along those lines. And it's just really acknowledging the fact, and I think a lot of people, that's all they really care about is like, some people it's like, oh, they must think they're better than me because they can just block the road, or they must think they're above the rules of blocking the road, or they must think their time's more important than mine because they can just block the, and the same thing is kind of true sometimes in the opposite direction, where it's like, oh, wow, they think that this is the biggest inconvenience in the world because we have our trucks over here, or, so both parties are kind of a little bit sometimes on edge about the other party.
Right.
And this is just the professional side of it going, I know some people are going to feel like this. This is just a small way to maybe cut some of that negative emotion down. So when they do approach me, it can maybe be a little bit less hostile, which is always good.
That we acknowledge that we're creating an inconvenience.
Yeah. Hey, I
think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
I do. I think it's a great idea. Mike said he think it's a great idea. And it could just be simply like a yard sign kind of thing that only it's got to be on its own platform.
Yeah.
Kind of like just a pop-up sign, and that we would have,
or something you can stick in like a cone. It's already or on the back of your
behind you've already got the cone, so maybe just slide it down in the cone, and that'd be a great idea. Katie, you're really great at stuff like that. Put a little to-do note on to find something like that. What, like a 4x4 sign, or I think a 4x4. What do you guys think listening to us? I'm curious. Probably a 4x4 would be something about the size. Maybe a 4x4 is too big. Maybe a 3x3 though. Something a little bigger than a yard sign that'd be easy to read. That we would just simply slide down into a cone, and that's a good idea, Daniel. If it had like just a center pole.
Yeah.
That would slide into a cone, and then it's easy to take out and easy to move with. Let's see. Mike said he does like the sign idea because it happened to him probably 6 years ago, and he handled it poorly.
Because
I hear you, man. He's just being honest, and I have
everybody has those situations to where you're out there. It's 95 degrees out. You're working hard. You feel like you're trying to like make this place look good for its people, and then one of the people you're trying to help make it look good for is like complaining and calling you an idiot, and all these different things that obviously is way out of line, but still there's it's not that it makes it right that all that combines into you going off on them, but it's sometimes not a wonder why it does happen.
I really do like your idea of the sign though. I think that's something that now, and now what do you do? You're not going to stick it out on every job site.
No. I think pretty much just the ones that either could be a problem or have been a problem in the past.
Yeah. You don't need it on an active road where you're parked, or if you're parked, or hell, maybe you do. Maybe as a goodwill gesture, you put it out when you park, anytime you're in a complex or a strip mall or somewhere like that. I know a guy that does quite a bit of strip mall work and things like that. And he was telling me they do a lot of that type of work at night, which makes I mean, that's a really good idea too. Now you couldn't do it in a. We're not going out at night to do condominiums. You know, we were talking about it. It's kind of like what we got to thinking about around here earlier was it's kind of like going to Disney World. You know, they do everything at night, or a lot of that. You know, you never see any. And I don't know. I've never been to Disney World since 50 years ago, literally. But but that's what I've heard that they do everything at night. You know, all their maintenance is at night, whether
Yeah,
it's shrubs, lawn,
heard that.
everything's at night. So, um, and but this guy was telling me that that's the way they do their malls and things is at night, just because of the access and it's just so much easier. And no, you know, you're not getting threatened and whatever. So, uh, oh lordy. Mike's got a funny comment there. I'm sure you guys can see it as well. But I think we did solve that problem. And, you know, it is easier to do with like I said, mowing, it's easier to get out of the way potentially, as long as your equipment's going to be safe. But, you know, when you're doing landscaping and this, like I said, this wasn't a huge facility. I mean, it really wasn't. It was just the way it's laid out. It's laid out bad with the single lane one way that you know you are going to block things up when you stop a vehicle um, in there, and you know it's just it is what it is. But Mike, I'm not glad that you had the issue with it as well, but I think it's something real, and would like to hear potentially from more of you guys about what you are doing to combat that issue of parking. And I know we skip on a lot of jobs because of parking issues. And I mean, we wouldn't pass on a full maintenance contract like this is for that something that's what a twice a year problem, and when you're visiting them 45 times a year and you got two times that it's going to be a little bit of a problem. But um, I'm sure you would handle it better, Mike. No doubt about it this time around. But I remember those days when I was out in the truck, though, and people just no respect. I mean, uh, for us as an industry, and what we're trying to do. I mean, they called and called and called about getting it completed. And then when we called and told them we were getting completed and here's our plan, let people know, then, but I guess when you look at it and you say, hey, you got 5 buildings of people and you've got 2 people that come out and really get mad at you, and you had multiple others just turn and go the other way. The turn and go the other way people are the ones you appreciate.
Yeah.
It's like, well, sign says it's one way. Oh, well, okay. For 5 seconds, break the law for God's sakes. But anyways, I don't know. I think we got the sign thing figured out on that. We're gonna go with that. Speaking of speaking of which, speaking of signs, I saw something, Daniel, and I know we're getting ready to wrap up, but I saw something the other day, and this was out of Suffolk County, New York, that a guy sent, and it was in y'all have seen it, and it's nothing profound, but I haven't seen one for a long time, and what it amount to was the $25 lawn cut guy. You know, I mean, I mean, look here. There it is. $25. $25. Leap Lawn Care. And I'm not a Leap. If you're a listener of ours, hey, we're not making fun. We're saying, hey, let us help you understand why that doesn't make sense. You know, but $25. I haven't seen a $25 lawn flyer in a long time until this one. But obviously, it's still going on. It's still out there, and it's up to you to fix it, right? And speaking of advertising, now's the time to start pushing out that old advertising for your fall aeration and overseeds. Um, we what are we? I know in July is when we'll start. Katie said, yeah, our early sign up start in July, and we we talked a little while back about how we started selling earlier on these too this year, and I don't know, we've got several signed up, right, Katie, for like yeah, we started a spreadsheet this spring on that, so we're ahead this year. We're ahead further than we have ever been, only because we haven't done anything. So this is kind of like the new guy that starts a business and says, "Hey, I doubled my business." Hey, we've doubled our new. Actually, we haven't doubled them because we didn't have anything to compare it to, but um, we've got more than we ever had at this point in the last 47 years. Let's put it that way. So, yeah, so that's 3 jobs, Daniel. We got no. Hey, you know what though? There's nothing wrong with having 1, 2, or 3, because to get to whatever number it is that you have as your goal, what do you got to have is the first one, right? The first one's the hard one. So be sure to get that ready, get that aeration, get those overseed, get the lawn renovation, however you're going to do it, whether it's social media, yard signs, flyers, brochures, whatever, door hangers, you know, now's the time to do it. Be careful what you put on them though. And I think that's something we really need to think about. Oh, thanks, Derek. You the man. um, but yeah, it's really be careful what you put on them as far as guarantees, warranties. I got a thing here in front of me, looking at it's a nice little flyer. Honestly, is talking about ticks, and the guy's promoting tick applications, and which a good looking flyer. I know this guy personally, and he actually worked with him, Profits Unlimited wise, and but he's promoting tick applications, but and he's got a nice little flyer going right here. So, but be careful what you put on your flyer from the standpoint of uh, any type of specific guarantees. One thing I wanted to reach out with this guy about was one thing he's got on there, Daniel, is guaranteed protection. And I think that's something we got to be careful, especially with all the disease issues with ticks, right? You know, hey, it says guaranteed protection. I got bit by a tick, or my kid got a tick, and now they've got alpha gal or whatever some of those weird things are. We're not going to reiterate that whole story. We talked about it, the other day, but it is something to just be careful about what you're putting on there as a guarantee. Okay. Be careful with your verbiage on that. So that's what's going on with the flea and tick and advertising market. Renovations are right around the corner. I know we don't want to believe it. We're going to talk a little bit about snow and ice management today, but didn't make it. And I know some of you guys are doing it, some aren't doing it, but there's, I think it's something I want to address again is and just to touch on it right now for a minute is, the supply and demand issue. It's going to be a supply issue for regardless of your market. So be sure to reach out to your suppliers early on. So we'll leave it at that. Reach out until we actually talk about it. So with that being said, hey, we got a train going by. Y'all probably hear it. This thing's just like literally right behind our building. So one day we're going to get wiped out by this thing if it ever derails. Hopefully we're not here when it happens, but so far so good. Had some good luck with it. But hey, appreciate you guys tuning in today. We had a lot of fun today, and but as always, though, I mean, it's we try to throw some serious in there with it. Daniel, thanks for your fun fact.
Yes.
Appreciate that. And we'll let you know on Monday what we end up doing. Maybe Daniel and I can get together tonight or at some point, and Caitlin and Tabitha, and we'll have a little something going on there. But it seems like everybody's doing something. You got a big plan tomorrow, so that'll be fun. Enjoy. Don't get sunburned.
Yeah.
And I think I might go down to visit my RV. I might go visit my RV tomorrow.
You
So
sleep at the Camp Hamilton.
Camp Hamilton, yeah, pull the RV out. It's already plugged in. Timmy keeps it plugged in for me. So yeah, maybe we can do that. So, but other than that, hey, you guys have a great time. Appreciate y'all tuning in. John, enjoy the beach, my friend, and I'm sure it's well deserved. Seth, be careful as you're coming up here to the big city, buddy. And hey, if you get close, holler at us, man. And other than that, you guys have a great weekend. We're going to have a great weekend. Appreciate you listening to Profit Time right here in the Profit Circle. And remember, profit is not a dirty word. We'll see you next time.